Hey guys, welcome back to part 2 of how to play the Ps2 quick guide. I forgot to mention something in part 1, which is as soon as terrorists take cat control, then your standards is over. This is where your team decides what they want to do and how they want to do it. Now let's get back to the CT side. When you start on spawn, the first thing you want to do is designate somebody to smoke middle. Now you can smoke it like this, just throw it at the wall, let it land at the door, and it will smoke it off, but that prevents your opper from opping, if you have one, middle, and it prevents people from watching a cat for a rush, unless you want to boost up. Which you can do with another player, with 2 people. So you want to aim at the bots right here, like to aim a little bit above this line. So you get it, and run throw. And as you see, smoke, completely covered while you're crossing. And your operator can still op middle if you want, so you can check for anybody rushing for for cat. If you're not running, then you want to aim at the archers over here. Now, it's important to try to keep mid control, but don't not commit for it, because it's so easy for the terrorists to take it. It's not worth losing a life for it. Back here at B, when you first enter the B site, your first objective, if you have a smoke and a flash, especially with a buddy, that's what I recommend taking and holding B with, is to the flash guy to go over here and through doors, and right when he can, as soon as he can, throw the flash all the way in the back in this corner right here. The reason for this is because the guy, the window, the second guy, you want him to smoke off arches or a tunnel entrance. And when you throw that flash over there, when you both get into position, like this guy, if you're checking arches right here, after you smoke it off, and this guy, they won't get blind by the flashbang. Now when you go up here, and this guy, he can go over here, and then he just right there, if you want. But you're supposed to throw it as soon as you can. So you should be throwing it like outside. So you should be fine. Now, if you're doing an anti-rush setup on B, you will have this guy right here or behind car, and he will play a crossfire with this guy, the guy that goes through window. And by the way, you can also call this hole or whatever you want to call it, but I call it window. And this guy's objective is to, number 1, he's checking to see if there's a push. So if you think there's a push, this guy will play right here, and he's trying to check, just quick peeks, and maybe vary it up, so he's checking this, and if he does get rushed, his objective is to get into 1v1s and get a pick. If he doesn't get a pick, he doesn't have to commit, because he can just fall back a little bit. Because if they rush right here, then he gets into another 1v1 he can make it into. And this is close. This is where you have to commit, but he should get this. On top of that, if an enemy goes right here, while the guy over at this box is not flashed, then you could play a crossfire over here. So they have to engage you, and it's very dangerous. It's very easy to shut down and rush on B site as long as you have 2 players communicating. You could smoke this off, and you can also hold it from back plat, which is over there. When you get to work your way to back plat, you want to first check it off to make sure nobody's rushing, and then you want to slowly make it back over here. You want to do it jump up on this spot, because you could jump crouch and instantly land on the platform. Whereas over here, you have some hang time before you land, so it makes you an easier shot. It takes longer too. Now, you can also watch middle from here, and as soon as you see you can ask your teammate, or if you're communicating with a friend, you can tell him, hey, whoever's playing this position, I have a flash for you. And then he would say, okay, and as soon as you tell me when you need a flash, this guy will say so. So when this guy sees enemies, he will say flash ring, and this guy will throw a flashbang over here, to hit this, and it will bounce off and flash anybody rushing. So as soon as even if they dodge the flash and see it coming, he can peek as soon as the flash goes off, and then it's going to be easy kills because the back is going to be turned. Especially on console if you don't have a mouse and keyboard. That's just the playing B site. And now A site. You never, as a CT, want to push somewhere by yourself. So usually you should designate a rotator as well, a guy who's just going to rotate, like move around the map, and not really take orders. His job is to find places where he thinks he's going to be needed, where extra help is going to be needed. So he can play here and create a crossfire in the middle with another guy just waiting right here, while one guy is watching B as well. Also, he could, if need be, he could also rotate at B site. If you push cat as CTs, the fastest way to do it is to use the rotator, tell him to boost you up over here, and you both boost up and go right there. What you guys want to do over there is you want to have one guy looking at a wall, either right here, especially if you're upper, you can do this by yourself, you can look at the wall right here, or you just have a rifle right here, and then you have another guy right here, or then you have him just waiting over here, and then you have another guy just waiting. To see if somebody peeks, they peek and they try to go aggressive against him, you can both shoot at him. And if you're an opera especially, you can play this. And as soon as you get in trouble or you take a shot, just drop down. And then you could, especially if it's good, if you have a flash, so you could pop flash over here. And then you could start working, you could go over here and then work in between. It's important for an opera to not commit over here. By the way, this is named in between because in between A site and double doors, or A long. It's important as an opera that you don't have to commit over here. Your only job is to get a few picks and go off. If you're not doing very well, then just run. Even if you don't get the picks, you just take a few shots and then leave. Just go over here, regroup with your teammate, and if they're at pit or at A long, and you just wait for your reinforcements to come and take the site all together. When you rush here, you really want to take A long A. Your reason for this is because you get a lot of information of where the T's go, and you limit map control for the T's heavily. Now, you could throw a flashbang, which I do over here because I don't know the flash for this. But you can also find a pop flash over here, and then there's a smoke you could do. It's like up between the wires somewhere. And when you take it as an opera, first of all, you want to do this. If you're against good players that headshot you and aim at head level, you want to crouch peek with an opera. You have to know your angles to be a good opera. As a rifler, you could play at the corner right here. When you approach this and you're playing people that know what they're doing, you want to approach this corner running backwards because they're usually going to flash over there. And then as soon as you turn the corner, that's where you turn around and peek. Okay? Peek. A little bit earlier than that. You could also play with 3 people here if you have trouble, and you could also smoke off a part of this, so you can help your people, your fellow CTs get to pit. Now you never want to opt here in pit as a CT. I mean, you just never want to opt in pit as a CT, like just when you're taking a long A. This is a rifler position. You don't want. It's hard. You can't rotate out. You can't get really much help. If you get caught, you're in trouble. And there's no way you can escape that. Unless they're really bad and you can kill them all. Now you always want to keep at least one CT here as soon as you take long A, until there's a push, and that will come, if you're good communication and gathering all your info and putting it all together. You can usually dictate where a push is going to be. Against an uncoordinated team, they usually just push one area and then all you guys can rotate back. Now, if you're playing over here at A site, you want to, let's say you're playing Goose, you want somebody in between. If you're playing Pit, you want somebody in between. You don't want to play Goose or this A site and got one guy Pit, because the Pit guy can't help each other. Help the site guy and vice versa if he gets rushed at the cat. If you play Goose as an opera, you also want to play, obviously, you want another guy to help you out. Just in case they rush you, you can just wait and then you can kill them. And you're just as a distraction. If you miss your shot, if you take a shot and you get the pick, it's better. Your rifler, you can play here, but beware of good players. This is a good spot. Good players will know this nade, will probably know this nade. You can molly this to over here. You can throw double stack grenade to kill somebody over here. You can smoke off the line of sight. There's a lot of things you can do against this position. And you can also pre-fire. It's a common pre-fire spot on PC. Now, this is a better one in my opinion. The main reason is you can also head glitch in this. And you can also work around and make a headshot again on this side. So you're less susceptible for pre-firing. And also, it's I don't know. It's a better angle for me. I like it. It's more comfortable. Now, there's also another fast where you can just go up here. You know, it's some simple things. I'm not gonna get into that. I don't want to go over 10 minutes. All right, guys, it's over 10 minutes. That's just a playing CT side. I hope you guys learned something, and if you did, enjoy the video, like, favorite, and subscribe.